Like you look at the amount of goals we've seen just over the past couple of weeks. It's insane.
A lot of
We're
goals.
going to see some real hidings this season. Real ones.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this week we've got what? We've got Arsenal at Anfield, no? That's a hiding. Definitely. Arsenal going to batter them.
What? Oh, God.
I like that, man.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
To FPL Bros, episode 27. We just finished game week 3. Today you have myself, Derek, and you have James, and you have Jamie. Hi guys, how you doing?
Good, how you?
I'm not bad at all. I'm not bad. Got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, but it's certainly going to be a interesting chat, I would say.
Yeah, a lot went on this week.
I know Jamie's gonna go on about his score, yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna go on about it too much. Last week I was humble.
Yes.
And then this week there's no reason for me to be humble because my pick came through.
Jamie, you're lucky we're not doing a video call, because if we were, your big head would not fit into the video right now, because, you know, after that game week you just had, you're just walking around with some massive swollen head right now, just grinning from ear to ear.
I'm telling you, it went from I think first week I got 26, and then this week, straight back into the top. So, I mean,
went from rags to riches.
Literally, 1 week.
Literally, I got an interesting stat here that Kojo put on me, which is quite embarrassing. If I didn't change my squad from last week, I would have got the most points.
Do you know what? I've read a lot about fantasy football, and one of the things I've seen, it's a bit like investments, isn't it? They say that the most wealthy individuals or the most wealthy or successful portfolios out there are of people who are dead, because they just don't sell anything.
Yeah.
So they don't react to markets, they don't react to things, they don't buy and sell all the time. So, you know, they actually end up over a long period of time gaining a lot of wealth. And I think it's slightly similar with FPL, isn't it? Where you have 1 or 2 bad weeks with an individual and then you sell them, but then they could have then they obviously start returning and you miss out on all those points. So it's probably good to sometimes sit on your hands.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean that follows on quite nicely to what happened to me. I don't know. Is that where you'd like to go? What happened to us during our week?
Yeah, tell me about your week, Jamie. You start, because you've had a good week.
I'll start. So like last week, poor. I mean, it was poor. I was touching bottom of the table of the FPL Bros league. It was dreadful, and it was just me and Kojo in last week's podcast, and we were talking about the team, and he was saying that like my picks weren't terrible. It was just an unlucky week and this and that. And then it came around to picking out my substitutions. And I was like, oh man, should I just take a points hit? Should I use my wild card? You just get rid of these Spurs players. Marino's had a horrible first week. Like, these guys are dreadful. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a safe one. I'll change Pepe for Willian, because Willian's going to play next week. And then I'll just leave it and see what happens. And boy, it went all right.
Yeah.
It did real well. I mean, like,
one week and he jumped all the way up to, wow, quite a big jump.
Yeah, it was huge. Well, it was 87 points total. I mean, I had Ings, Mitrovic, Son, Barnes. Like, all of those guys were big scorers this weekend. And then I captained Trent, which got me double points. I think my only downfall, my goalkeeper had Pope, which was unlucky. And then I had a couple of Sheffield defenders, which wasn't great. But other than that, it was just points all around.
You have Egan?
Yeah, I've got Egan, but he's luckily stayed on the bench, so he didn't get brought on, because Doherty stayed on. He was on.
A lot of people had Egan, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, he would like it's just, if you follow on from what happened last season, it was like Sheffield players in defence, you were just like almost guaranteed to get a clean sheet or something, or sometimes even a couple points. You never know with it, because they're so tall. You might even catch a goal off the other end. It's just, but it's not showing out really for them. But yeah, that was my
Well,
week. All the
that's really good.
glory.
You know, you've jumped ranks. You're now, I think, 13th in the Originals League, and you're
Huge jump.
third in the FPL Bros League. So you
Yeah,
know, you're doing really well.
I am. I'm happy. I need that.
What about yourself, James? How was your week, eh?
Ooh. I don't know. I thought it was going to be good. Like, it's all the makings of being an amazing week. I thought everything's going right. I put
Who let
calvert-lewin
you
in my
down?
team, put Richarlison in my team. Lacazette scored. I was like, Lacazette goal, Richarlison goal,
Yeah,
this.
started off well.
Calvert-Lewin got a hat trick. I was like, oh, this is doing everything for me. I thought, you know what? Salah was amazing last week, so I feel like Salah's going to do this all the time. So I took out Mane from my team. I put Salah in instead. Made Salah my
Oh
captain.
no. I think in
Willian.
our FPL Bros chat, I did mention a few stats about Salah with
Yeah.
away games and especially against Chelsea.
Oh,
And
wow.
it looks like those stats came true. So
They
one to
did.
be wary of
I
in the
believe.
future.
I thought that he was just going to be different. So I just thought, you know what? No stats, emotions going to mean more than stats for this game. Thought he
Yeah.
had something to prove, but I was wrong. And what do you call
Disappointing
it?
with Egan, you got minus points for him. And I think you should
Yeah.
have got some points for Traore because he almost got an assist, but Jimenez just missed it, I think.
And
Or
Willian,
couldn't spot him.
imagine Willian for Son.
Oh my gosh,
Oh no, gutted.
you're burning. That's real pain. It's real pain.
Never mind. It wasn't a terrible week for you. It just wasn't the best, I would say. But it wasn't terrible. It could have been much worse. Do you know what I mean?
I need it to be amazing. I just needed it to be amazing. But I was
Yeah.
told that if I did my first week, that if I kept all my old players, I would have got 95, sorry. So
Oh wow.
that's what hurt.
I mean,
That's
You
a
would
big
then,
swallow.
I think what should hurt for you, you used your wild card already. I think that's bonkers.
Yeah.
last season I went
When
for
everyone's getting hat tricks with Gareth Bale, you just be there sitting with Willian.
Oh mate.
I do one sub at a time. I'll just do one sub at a time. But the thing is, last season, if you notice, I only used I used my wild card. I didn't even use my wild card. So I just realized, let me just use
Yeah,
it.
you
Like,
did it.
better use it to start rather than using it, like not wasting it. Because I've been wasting, I've been using it. And when it gets to the end of the season or when it gets to the end of like the transfer window and that sort of stuff, I already have the players I want. So I'm already okay. So I'm not really, do you know what I mean? I only use it because I want to get myself in good stead. Even though I don't have the players that are doing too well right now, I feel like week on week, I can make one or two subs and I can try and get myself back in.
Yeah, that's the smartest thing to do. Only use it if you really have to. If your team is really suffering, then use it, obviously. But
Oh, I've already too late for
that's
me, man.
good. My week wasn't terrible. It could have been better. My defenders all returned, which was good. Even though Taylor conceded quite a few goals, he still got an assist. Trent kept a clean sheet and Justin got a goal. So that was quite nice. Captain Aubameyang, which was a set choice.
Yeah, very.
Rashford disappointed me, as I thought United would run riot over Palace, but he was nowhere to be seen, which was surprising. But hopefully he does better in his next game against Brighton. And then you had Son Mitrovic returning quite well for me, which was really good. So those two kind of saved my game week.
Why did you use Adams?
Because he's got a good track record in the Championship. And he actually almost scored. It was a brilliant save from, who was it they played? He had a point-blank shot against Lloris. Yeah, Lloris saved it. It was a brilliant shot. But I do think he's just getting he's getting warmed up, getting used to playing at this, higher level. And he's a really good player. He's got a lot of potential. And up front with Ings, it can be a deadly combo, honestly. So
Tyreek Mitchell got 5 points as well.
yeah, Mitchell got 5 points. He was on my bench, but that's 2 weeks in a row now he's returned. So one to watch out for. I know his next game is not an easy one. They've got Everton, but hey ho, Everton were playing West Brom with 10 men, not Palace with 11. So you never know. They might keep a clean sheet. They might have a surprise there.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
But yeah, that kind of links into the next topic. So I wanted us to talk about obviously the top 3 point scorers this week. As Jamie rightly identified, we've got Son, Kane, and DCL. What are your thoughts on these 3 guys?
I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I think he's a safe pair of hands to have in your team, and just leave him
Sorry,
there.
did I say 3? Let me throw one more in. KDB, how dare we? Let's not forget him. So yeah, go on.
Yeah, I was saying
You think?
Calvert-Lewin is just put in there, leave him, and keep it moving. Focus on all the other players.
Yeah, fair enough. So you think Calvert-Lewin it's basically his
Consistency.
template now?
Yeah, he's template.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with James. I think Calvert-Lewin, if you look at the new Everton side, Calvert-Lewin's just getting loads of service.
Yeah.
Like, left, right, centre, people are chucking balls at him and he's just knocking them away. And
Loads.
You know what?
He's eating nice.
I take back what I said about Calvert-Lewin because I didn't rate him as much because purely based on his performance last season, he wasn't very consistent, but he seems to be very hungry to prove himself this year, and he's getting brilliant service. He's not only scoring goals with his feet, but also with his head, which is very deadly, you know. So he's definitely one to kind of keep an eye on.
He's the poacher, the goal poacher. He's actually that new age goal. That those things are dying out. Now he's come and brought it back, and it's weird to see, and it's interesting as well.
Yeah,
like, you know he's gonna score more goals.
Yeah. See, with him, like, I don't think you're right. It's a poacher. It's like it's his athletic ability that puts him ahead. He's just strong. He's fast. He's first to the ball. He pushes past people. He's not fancy. Like, he's not got a great shot on him or anything like that. He's just fast and strong, and he's got a keen eye for where to be.
Yeah. Okay. Like, it's easy to deliver. That is working for them. Kane and Son, they'll get you points, but I don't think it's going to be every week. Some weeks they're going to have bad weeks. And Calvert-Lewin, I think pretty much you'll get a goal, almost a goal a game. You get more, you'll average a goal a game.
Yeah, no, I can see that as well.
With Son's explosiveness and being one of the best finishers in the Premier League, he's fast, he's good with both feet, and he's got, a decent team around him to service him. With Bill coming into addition, you've got Bill there. How do you guys think it's going to work with the formation, with Spurs moving forward, more attacking-wise? How do you think that's going to be positioned by Mourinho, guys? Because they've got quite a few options now.
As soon as I heard about Bell, I was trying to think about it. Like, do you take, where'd you put Kane? Where'd you put Son?
Yeah.
Who'd you put on the right? And in my head,
Moira or Birmingham.
Bergwijn for that. So in my head, I don't know. In my head, for me, I would put it as a 4-3-1. And I'll put Kane number 10, Son and Bergwijn on the wings, and then no, not Kane number 10, Bale number 10 and Bergwijn on the wings, and then Kane up top. And I just think that sounds lit to me, but I don't know. Like, you just don't know Mourinho, man.
I would have flipped that. I would have put Kane in. I would have put Kane in the middle, Bale and Bergwijn on the wings, or Bale and Moura on the wings, and then Son up top.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Kane can be a get the ball in the middle, hold it up for Son to do runs and then lay it off.
Yeah, I think they'll make it look like behind Kane, but Kane will sit back. I think they'll put that on there, but Kane will sit back a bit more because Son is fast.
You're right.
I think since the start of last season, Kane's been dropping back a lot.
Who? Son or Kane? Yeah, he has, isn't it?
He's been
well, I think what it is, I think Kane realizes that, like, when Kane first burst onto the scene, he wasn't exactly particularly fast, but he had a good, first 20 yards. It's like he would use that first to get past people. You know what I mean? And he doesn't have it. It just doesn't have it. He realizes that that's not. So what happened at the weekend? You notice Kane quickly realized that, they're playing a high line. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out. I'm going to come deep. I'll take it out wide, and you just run. So I'll find you. Just run. You're fast. Yeah. You just go ahead, and I'll knock you. And it happened 4 times over. And
honestly, they were so good. Yeah.
It worked out.
I don't think that's happening. I just can't see it. Mourinho's, I think he's just as bad as Pep. In the past, if you look at Mourinho's teams, all of his teams, it's just been, he's focused on defence and midfield, and he's had star attackers, and he said, all right, you lot just figure out what's happening up top. And I'm not sure that that's going to work for the Premier League because it's quite a tactical league. Like, lots of these teams play low blocks, they try and figure you out, and I don't know. I don't see Son and Kane or even Bale doing that well later on in the season or for the long term throughout the season.
I feel like a lot of the teams to watch have invested very heavily in their midfield. There's something we were talking about before in the last season about the simplicity of having a midfielder that can pass the ball to a striker. Yeah.
Oh man, it's underrated.
Yeah, it's very underrated. Now, like, I don't know if Spurs are one of the teams that's invested in the midfielder that can do that, but there's not many teams. Like, there are teams that have invested in that. Man City have that. Liverpool have that. United have that. And Chelsea have it. And I feel like teams that don't have it will be hurt.
Yeah. You're not always going to face, what is it, Southampton? Is it Southampton they play? You're not always going to face them. You know, like, it's about the midfield, because who have they got? They got that Holdberg kid, and that's it. That's
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
scary. It's scary.
There was a lot of creativity lacking, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
100%.
It was.
The reason Southampton lost because they were playing 2019, 2024. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this season is going to be different. This season, like, the levels are going to go up for every team. So if people are playing like from last season, they'll get hurt. So people are just going to have to adjust. And I think the adjustments will be made by Christmas by pretty much all teams.
Yeah.
All right.
So definitely keep
moving on, guys. Definitely keep calvert-lewin. All right.
Yeah.
And Son and Kane are maybes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Everton.
We'll see how it goes.
They've got those midfielders too. Everton have invested in that. Ancelotti has been very smart with his investment in his midfielders.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
So the next topic was obviously some of the surprises that we had. One of the biggest being the Villa win. Not only just a win, but a lovely defensive fixture for them. Thoughts on some of the stars of that match there, guys? So you got Konsa with the goal, and then you've got Mings with the assist, and you have Martinez with the penalty save. Are they one to keep an eye on, guys? Is probably Martinez the go-to keeper for the season?
I would have Martinez. I mean, I would have him. And I'm saying that also because I'm biased because he's an ex-Arsenal player. But man, safe as houses. Literally safe as houses. In the 10 games towards the close-up of the season, I don't know if you guys were focusing on Arsenal. But man, he was unbelievable. And it wasn't like he was just playing against any kind of side. He was playing against Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea. And came away from those games with 3 points.
He was very good.
Do you know what I mean? So I think I don't know how much he costs, but man, he's a top
He's
talent.
very cheap. He's 4.5.
Man, I might actually have to make a transfer. You know, I'm not gonna lie.
But
the main problem is, go on.
Can I just let you know his next fixture is against Fulham, which is okay, but then his two after that is Liverpool and Leicester and Leeds, and everyone is sleeping on Leeds.
Yeah,
this is true.
About to get to that. Like, you see how last season everybody were getting all these Sheffield United players and that sort of stuff. This season it's Leeds players. Like, people need to see who is popping the Leeds and get themselves someone from there, because those are the ones that are gonna like scrape you those little points here and there. Like, they're gonna do it. I don't know them yet, but I'm trying. I know.
So you've got Aylin, which is the one that Marley nutmegged, and then he nutmegged him back. He's okay. He's more of a wing back, and then you've got Kilic. Sorry if I'm saying the names wrong, but he's a midfielder, and he takes the penalties for them.
Okay.
And then obviously you got Bamford, but I don't really rate Bamford.
No, I don't rate Bamford.
I'm not gonna lie, he gets numbers, man. He gets numbers. I've been watching. He's been consistent. Even last season in the championship, he was getting consistent assists and goals. He holds the ball up well, and he's an engine. So he's got a lot of trust in his manager. Has a lot of trust in him, and he's a nuisance. He's a nuisance to opposite defenders. So I can't fault him.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about Leeds.
For me, he's got a lot to prove.
Jury's out for me, Leeds. I mean, not that they're not going to be a good side, but they concede. Like, I'm concerned about that. Like, it's all good and well, them scoring goals if you get the attackers, but anywhere in midfield and defence, like, they've been bleeding goals, them against teams that you shouldn't be getting scored, like, that shouldn't score against you. So I don't know. We'll see.
The thing is, Fulham. To be honest with Fulham, like, they are an attacking side. They are actually an attacking side, isn't it? Like, also one other thing as well is I have to pay some respects to what's his name, man? My guy, Parker, for signing Areola, because Areola is a terrific signing. That's going to completely different dynamic for their season. That's going to be a lot more difficult for them to go down.
Yeah, I know Areola from FM, Football Manager. he was an early purchase for me and most of my sides. He's a good keeper.
Very good keeper. He was the PSG number one until Navas came in.
Yeah.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
So what we just mentioned, obviously, we're saying Leeds defenders might be the ones to look at, or Leeds players in general might be the ones to look at. Obviously, last year you had Lundstrom and some of the other Sheffield defenders. Are they still worth looking at this year? Are they still worth the value they were offering last year?
So far, no. So far, no. I think if we're going to be looking at defenders, I think we need to start paying attention to Brighton defenders because they seem to be
I agree with
ramping
this.
up. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
Brighton have got
the
some
Sheffield.
okay fixtures coming up as well.
I think the Sheffield defenders were more. It seems like speculation. It was more to do with the goalkeeper rather than the defenders because they had Henderson last year, right?
Now, I just saw the
Yeah.
United game just now against Luton, and Henderson made some amazing saves. Honestly,
Exactly.
He's the real deal. Like, I honestly think he's the real deal now. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
believe it last. I thought it might be the defenders, but I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. I don't think Gaya starting the next game after this game he just had just now.
Yeah, he left and then they lost their clean sheet. It's just that simple. So yeah, maybe it's nothing to do with defenders. Maybe they were just nicking some points off of him.
Uh-huh. Maybe he's the one.
All
Maybe
right.
he's the
So
one.
Brighton defenders are the ones to look at, and maybe Sheffield jury's still out because now they haven't got a decent keeper behind them. It's worrying.
Yeah. Brighton's fixtures aren't too bad, whereas Sheffield is awful. So yeah, I would probably look at Brighton.
I think Sheffield. There's no way Sheffield are beating Leeds. I just don't believe that. Like, it's a derby match. Don't get me wrong, a Yorkshire derby, so it'd be a big game. But I just don't really see it in Leeds.
Mm-hmm.
All right, see it.
Fair enough.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
So obviously we've had 2 game weeks. Well, technically we've had 3 game weeks so far, and we've seen some teams receive a battering. So we're coming into our 3rd game week. Are you guys conscious of any teams that you need to completely avoid, i.e. West Brom? And do you think they're basically going to be the new Norwich?
I don't think West Brom will be the new Norwich per se. I think they'll put on a better fight than Norwich did, simply because they got a better manager. I think this season is probably going to be, in all honesty, this season's behind closed doors because I think this will probably be one of the best seasons in a while. This is going to be a terrific season. I think it's got all the making because the teams are all looking really, really good and they haven't even got started. Better as time goes on. All teams. I think the whipping boys are West Ham.
Oh yeah,
really?
I wouldn't. Yeah. I can't. Like the thing is, if you asked me last week, well, actually we spoke about it last week. I said Fulham are the whipping boys because of what Arsenal did, and then I saw Fulham put up a decent game against Leeds, somewhat. Yeah. And then West Ham, I saw West Ham put up a decent. They were solid. They were organised against Arsenal. So
West Ham played well against Arsenal.
Exactly, very well, very organised. I think the issue
is it's still a makeshift patchwork team. They got a winger playing. They've got a bunch of players playing out of position. It's just it's not a real team. I don't like. It's going to give. When it gives, it's going to give badly. And you're going to see. You might even see Leeds give West Ham a 5-0 hiding. I think that's a possibility this season.
Yeah, I think that's the thing though. No, really though. So like, I would be in any teams that have come up their defenders just because of the amount of money that is being spent on attacks by the top 6. When them teams see those top 6 strikers, it's a different ball game, man. Like an organised attack against Fulham, an organised attack against West Ham, like Mane, Firmino, and Salah against West Ham defenders. Do me a favour, like literally, it's gonna be sad.
It's more of a thing of like the top 6. I'll say the top 7, the top 8. Top 8. I'm gonna put in Everton in that. I'm gonna put in a couple of teams, but once. Yeah, I've put in Everton. I've got to put in Leicester as well. And I have to put in Spurs and I have to put in Arsenal. Once their attackers get hot and start to get some kind of momentum, it's just a matter of time before they get a goal. And that's all of those teams I mentioned. So that's United, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Everton, and Leicester.
Yeah.
So after the games this game week coming, I reckon Liverpool will be at the top of the table.
Oh, really?
Because City are playing Leicester. So City are playing Leicester. Leicester, who are currently top of the table, will be playing City. I think City will win that, but we'll see what happens. But if City win, then obviously City go to 6 points. Leicester stay at 6. Liverpool will be playing Arsenal, both on 6 points. That will move Liverpool to first if they win. and Everton will be playing Palace. So if Everton and Liverpool both win their games, then they will both be moving to the top. So you have Merseyside at the top of the table.
That's interesting. That's a funny way of looking at it. Because I looked at it from the other perspective. I looked at it from the perspective Arsenal will beat Liverpool, then they'll go top, and then Crystal Palace will beat Everton.
You got London at the top.
The thing is,
that's a very good part.
the thing is, I'll be real with you. Yeah, I'll be real with you. There's a possibility that Arsenal could draw, but you have to remember that Arsenal are playing Liverpool in Anfield. That's a different thing. It's not normal.
Yeah.
Getting
Man,
it's very,
like,
very.
it's weird. Like I've got deja vu. Like I remember having this conversation.
Well,
Bizarre. Like Anfield, it's a different thing. It's so crazy. But there's no crowd. There's no atmosphere.
Yeah.
They're gonna tuck you in.
I don't
It's not the crowd. It's not the crowd. I think they're just used to the pitch. Honestly, I think when players play on the pitch so much, they just get used to it in a certain way that they feel they get that extra bit of confidence. Obviously, the crowd is a motivating factor, and it can change games, especially when you're losing. But I think when you're playing on your home turf, you just have a bit more confidence.
One thing I want to flag.
I mean? It's like, yeah.
It's true. One thing I want to flag here. Until Everton play Liverpool, they do not have a fixture that they will lose. I think that they will lose it. I think they're going to win every fixture until they play Liverpool. If they beat Liverpool, they're going to have a momentum that they've never seen before, and that momentum, Everton could start talking and discussing and feeling like they're going to win the league if they beat Liverpool. Yeah,
that's big talk, James, man. That's big talk. I've seen lots of people hit purple patches in it's been 2 game weeks.
Game week 5. Everton plays Liverpool.
I mean, let's not say if someone beats Liverpool, they're going to win the league. Okay, let's just take it week by week.
Take it week by week.
You guys.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
But in that sense, looking at the 2 big games this weekend, so Liverpool, Arsenal, Leicester City, what are your thoughts in terms of the scores? And actually, I'm going to throw in Everton Palace because that is a pretty important game, and Palace are in good form, and they played really well against United. They played amazingly against United. They outplayed them. So, score predictions on the 3 games. So I'll start with you, James. Liverpool, Arsenal, Leicester City, Everton Palace.
Okay, Liverpool Arsenal. I see that being a 3-2 win for Liverpool.
Okay, goals galore.
Goals galore. I think it's gonna be very, very leaked. A lot of goals on both sides. Man City, Leicester. I think Man City will win 3-1. Actually, no, it might even be 4-2 or 4-1. Like I think Man City will comfortably win, and it will be
interesting.
Leicester will put up a fight and they'll show that they can play. Maybe a Vardy goal. But Man City are going to win that very comfortably because they're just getting up, they're just ramping up, and when they get comfortable, it's a problem. Crystal Palace, Everton. I think that's a real big test for Everton to see if Everton are the truth or not. If Everton win that, people need to worry about Everton. But at the same time, Crystal Palace, people said they looked good in their last game. I don't really think they looked as good as everybody said they did. I'll be honest with you. I think they looked good in their first game, but in that Man United game, they only came alive literally right at the end of the game. It wasn't like they were good throughout the whole entire game. So
for me, they were.
First game, Crystal Palace against who's it against again? Southampton. That was just one goal as well, and they're defending well, and but I don't know, man. I don't know. Everton, if they allow Everton to play and get comfortable, if they allow Alan to pass the ball all around and that sort of stuff, it's just going to be more of the same. They allow Digne to get Dean to get those kind of those balls. It's more of the same. It's more of the same. They don't close down James Rodriguez. It's going to be a problem for them. And I just see too many angles for Everton to try and get at them. I feel like what's his name? Moise Kean. He's hungry, and the delivery he's going to be getting this season completely different to what he got last season. I think he can start to become the Everton Moise Kean. But the Juventus Moise Kean, sorry. But yeah, that's my prediction.
Cool.
No, I didn't give a prediction for the Crystal Palace game. I predict that game to be 2-2, Crystal Palace.
A draw. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Jamie?
Everton Palace? I don't know, man. It's like heads or tails. I don't know. I feel like it's so close. Just because of the form that I saw Palace on with Man United. I just don't know. And I also, I feel like Everton's bubble is going to burst. I don't feel like it's going to last much longer than another couple more weeks. Like, I don't know. I just see them slowing down a little bit and then being caught up.
Do you think their defense is weak?
I'm not sure about it. I can't. I see that the midfield is very important, but I don't think that it's so fixed that they're going to be able to ride on that throughout the rest of the league. And I feel like it's going to crumble down before end of October, just because like it can only get you so far, you know. That, in my opinion, that is. So I think I'm going to go with James. I reckon it's going to be a draw because Palace are just going to shut up shop, and they're very, very good at that. It's extremely difficult to break down Palace when they're at home and when they're not interested in letting any you know, they're just going to have Zaha standing in the pitch. They're going to hoof it long to him and let him try and wriggle or nick a goal or get a penalty or something like that, and that's going to be their game plan, I reckon. I don't feel like they're going to go at them, and that's going to cause Everton some real troubles because, I mean, even Man City on their day can't break down a Palace at home. Like, they're very good at it.
Yeah.
But so I'll go with either a 1-1 draw, maybe Palace nick a win, but I'm going with like a low scoring draw. And then we've got Liverpool, Arsenal. I don't know. I'm gonna.
You don't have. If you can't call it, you can't call it. But
no, I'll call it.
Share your thoughts.
I'll say either a draw or Liverpool win. I think either a draw like 2-2. I think it's gonna be high scoring, or Liverpool win like 2-1 or 3-2. Like, it'll be like that. Like, it won't be like they're taking the game away from us. It'll be pretty end to end, I think, and then it'll be like a lot, like someone scores at the end and they shut up shop and that's it, you know.
Yeah.
But it depends. I mean, if Van Dijk wants the stinker again, I don't mind. We'll take all 3 points.
The thing is, I don't not see a 1-0 victory either. I don't not see it being a cagey match because both teams at this moment in time are quite similar. So they might come on some cancelling each other out type game. Like, as a possibility.
That's true.
Seen it before.
Yeah, and I feel like Klopp's not happy that Arteta's had him twice. I feel like he'll act all comfortable and happy and smiley, but he's not gonna walk into that game thinking, I'm not gonna let him do 3 feet on me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. Right. And what about Leicester and City?
Leicester City, I think City will win. Like I said, I reckon this season Pep's out for blood, and he's not taking any prisoners. I think he's just going to try and thrash as much as possible. It's like he's not playing because it's kind of like he peaks and troughs, and I think this is the peak. Like, last season was a trough, obviously. So this season he needs that trophy, or else people are starting to question his legacy. You know what I mean? So so I think he's gonna put Leicester in their place, and I don't know what the scoreline will be, but I can imagine KDB doing a madness, and that's just the way I see it.
Good, fair enough.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
So personally for me, I think I agree with you. Liverpool Arsenal will be a high scoring affair. I still see Liverpool winning it just because they're at home, and from what they've done to Chelsea in the past at home, and some of the other teams at home, they don't really lose at home. I can't see them losing it to Arsenal, so I'm gonna be going for a high scoring 4-3 or 4-2 to Liverpool.
Interesting.
Also based on the fact that Arsenal's defence is still kind of getting used to each other, whereas the Liverpool defence is a little bit more comfortable and familiar with each other. So I think they will be surprised, some of these Arsenal defensive players playing against Van Dijk. Playing against Salah and Mane, whereas Van Dijk and Fabinho will be accustomed to playing against the Arsenal strikers. And they've learned their lesson, I hope. With Arsenal's last game, they were struggling to find creativity in the midfield and create opportunities. So I don't think they'll score as much. And they don't really score loads against Liverpool anyway. They kind of nick 1 or 2 goals here and there. So I think Liverpool's definitely going to punish them. And like you said, Klopp can't afford to have a 3-peat. So yeah, that's my prediction for that game.
I think I'm missing a kind of an Ozil character.
Don't even say Ozil because he hasn't played. Ozil hasn't been Ozil in years.
Ozil was playing with the under-23s.
Oh, well.
But there you go. That's how that. Yeah, he was 350k to play with the under-23s.
Oh,
Did you score? Scary hours. I don't know. I didn't even read past Ozil playing with the under-23s. I didn't care. It is what it is. That's lost money as far as I'm concerned.
Sell him.
Chelsea though, not as much lost money as Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
Over Kepa.
Kepa's trying to throw them in the net.
Yeah, Kepa's Kepa's definitely a double agent Kepa. Um,
100%.
for the Everton Palace game, I'm on your vibe, Jamie. I think it's going to be a low scoring affair, and I can see Palace shutting up shop and just being stubborn. The stubborn Palace that just will hold the ground. Roy will, round up the troops to be in front of the goal and literally just have Zaha up front ready to counter with Ayew ready to try and nick a goal and poach one. So I think it's going to be 0-0. But if a goal comes, I see it coming from Palace, to be fair.
So you don't think Ancelotti knows how to pick the Palace defence?
It's not about picking the defence. Honestly, with the sheer volume they have, I think Everton are going to be resorting to crossing the ball in. They won't be trying to play balls through because they just don't. That's not how they play.
Okay.
They don't play that game. You can see historically from the goals that they've even scored, there's been like shots just kind of outside the box or crosses or corners. Those are the kind of goals they score. They don't really do the City, Arsenal's like Liverpool type football where they try and get the ball through the middle. So they're really going to struggle because that's what Palace want. They want their high balls, the aerial balls.
I think Alan and James Rodriguez are capable of doing those balls.
We'll see.
I mean, I see what you're saying, James, but I personally think that like Derek's right where he says that like it's not about picking apart the defense when there's nowhere to pick apart. Like it's just gonna be two banks of four sitting there waiting. Like, they're not picking it apart. Like there's no movement, there's no offside, there's nothing. We're all chilling here in the 16-yard box.
The part bus.
You know what I mean? We'll part like at kickoff. You'll see them. They're just chilling in the 60-yard box. They won't even come up to the halfway line. Chilling.
Old Mourinho would be proud. And then finally we got Leicester and City. Completely agree with you guys here. Pep's gonna teach Leicester a lesson, but I don't think City are gonna go away from it unscathed. Looking at their last game, the defense is poor. Wolves had so many opportunities to score, and the City defence has got gaps. And I think Leicester will definitely exploit that with the likes of Barnes and Vardy and some of the other good players involved in the team. So I definitely see that being a high-scoring goal affair, 3-2, and I think that can go either way. But I do think City are going to win it. I think it's going to be like a 3-2 win to City because Leicester are not going to let them get away with an easy win, in my opinion. But yeah, those are my predictions.
I feel like Pep to make an example of someone.
An example. Well, it's not going to be Leicester, in my opinion.
No, I'm not sure.
It might be the team after. But yeah.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Finally, guys, just player picks. Just one player each, guys, that you think is a must-have. So if we go defense, mid, attack, so just pick one, and then once it's gone, it's gone. I'll let you do the honours once again, James.
Okay, so my player picks in defence, Dean. I go Luca Dean.
Yeah.
I think that's one that these people to pick and keep there the whole time. Midfield, Aubameyang. Leave him. Let him be where he's at. That is just going to get you the points. And up front, I'm going to stick with DCL.
Cool.
Calvert-Lewin.
What about yourself, Jamie?
In defence, I would go Lamptey for Brighton.
Brilliant player.
Yeah.
Midfield. Well, let me go striker because I know I'm going to say Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a cop-out, but, man, he's on fire at the moment and he's got all the service.
That's fine.
So,
yeah.
And then midfield, I'll go Foden.
Interesting.
I feel like Foden might get a run out at Leicester. If it goes well at half-time, I feel like he might let him run out. So we'll see how it goes.
Interesting. Yeah, good choices. For myself, in the defence area, I'll be looking at Saiss from Wolves. He's definitely going to be keeping clean sheets and he's got some attacking threat as well. So, for me, he's one I'll be interested in having there. In the midfield, there's a lot of choices, personally, that you can go for. But I personally think I'm going to go for a City player, same as you. And I would probably differentiate myself from the masses and go for Sterling. purely based on the fact that when Sterling has a good week, he has an amazing week. And the difference with Sterling is he gets the goals more than he gets the assists. So, you know, for me, that's a plus.
He's usually at the end of the move.
Exactly. Usually at the end of the move.
It's interesting how players like drop in and out of favour because like there was parts of last season where it was like Sterling's like one of the most picked players because he's just on fire, and then for some reason he just dips out and people forget about him at the beginning when they're selecting their teams. Like if you look if you look at their percentage picked, it's at like 2.5%. It's like what? Like, this is not even Sterling. Like this is a guy who had like the most goals and assist numbers that rivaled Messi, and here he is on like 2.5%. But hey, what can you do? People forget.
Crazy. Yes. And up front, there are quite a few choices, but I'm gonna actually go once again for a Wolves player in Jimenez. He's one of the best strikers in my opinion, and he's just so clinical. He wasn't his best against City, but honestly, this guy just loves scoring goals, and he's got some brilliant fixtures coming up. And at his price, in comparison to some of the other strikers out there, you know, you've got your Kanes, you've got your Martials. You know, I think the only person who probably offers a better value for money is DCL, but I think Jimenez is more proven, especially in his previous season. So he's probably my pick for up front.
I think that's a good pick, and as well value for money as well. Like, these guys are not too crazy expensive.
Yeah,
people can actually get.
Yeah, exactly.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Cool. I think
before we go, I want to highlight something about the FPL Bros team. It would be interesting to see how that team finishes off. I'm hoping that team finishes in the top, everywhere.
So I think our goal with the FPL Bros team this season is to finish in top 100k.
Okay.
That's our personal goal. If we can achieve top 50k, that would be amazing. I think top 100k is our goal, and I think that's achievable. So let's see how we play it, and then next season we'll try and make sure that, you know, we go for a higher target in terms of finishing. But what we should also probably let people know is that we will be sharing our team on Twitter. So watch that space if you want tips on how to model your team.
First week, Salah captain. Say no more.
TBC. Cool. All right. Well, if that's it, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Lovely having the chat today. As always, tune in to find out more about the week, and may the green arrows be with you all.
I'll see you soon, guys.
All right.
See you soon,
in a bit.